Hi, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. A lot to talk about in the forecast as we head over the next few days. Small chance for some rain into Friday morning. We're looking at cooler and windy conditions as we head into Friday afternoon, and then maybe our first freeze of the season as we head Friday night into Saturday. Temperatures trying to then turn back above average as we head into the week next week. We have freeze watches that are in place across a good chunk of the state and a good chunk of the coverage area from late Friday night through early Saturday morning. These areas have the best chance of seeing those temperatures drop below freezing. And again, into southeastern Nebraska, Lincoln, Lancaster County, not under a freeze watch just yet, but we may see frost advisories issued from that Friday night into Saturday morning time frame, so that's something that will be updated, so make sure you keep it tuned to 1011 for the very latest on that. But again, if you have any tender vegetation, plants you're trying to keep alive, you want to make sure you cover those up or just bring those inside. Also, again, if you haven't blown out the hoses or brought the hoses inside, now is your time to do so before those temperatures drop below the freezing mark. In Lincoln, again, this is about right on schedule. Climatologically speaking, the 30-year average for our first freeze is October 7th, which again, that would be on Saturday, and that's in fact when we saw our first freeze last year in 2022 was on October 7th when the temperature dropped to 30 degrees. October 21st the year before that, October 2nd in 2020. You can see over the last 10 years, though, it's been that first 2 weeks of October time frame that we've seen that first freeze. So again, this is one of those things that usually stays pretty close to schedule. Earliest we've ever seen a freeze in Lincoln was September 11th back in 1940, and the latest we've ever seen that first freeze was in November 1956, so quite a while ago. But again, usually that first 2 weeks of October. You check out our surface map. Cool front moved through the area today, kicked up the wind, but no moisture out of it. Tonight, though, and into your Friday morning, a stronger cold front will push through the state, bringing with it a small chance for some scattered light rain. We're not looking at much, maybe a few hundredths of an inch of moisture, maybe up to a tenth of an inch at most. Also some clouds through the morning. That will give way to sunny, cooler, and breezy conditions as we head into the afternoon hours on your Friday. And then the really push of colder air will arrive as that high pressure system settles over the area as we head Friday night into the day on Saturday. So again, as that high pressure moves overhead, we're going to be looking at clear skies, light winds, and again with the dry air mass in place and really low dew points, temperatures look to plummet as we head Friday night and into Saturday morning. Again, with the clear skies and light winds, that's really ideal to see those temperatures really take a tumble usually. Again, the solar radiation we get during the day heats the ground, and then at night, at least if we have a little bit of cloud cover, that cloud cover basically acts as a blanket, re-radiating some of that solar radiation back down to the surface, so again, keeping us a few degrees warmer. When nights that have clear skies and have light winds, that radiation can again just escape back into space and allow those temperatures to really take a tumble. So again, likely going to see a first freeze for many areas in central and western Nebraska and eastern Nebraska. We're going to be close. Either way, it does look like we're going to see the potential for some areas of patchy frost. And again, frost forms, you have air temperatures in the middle 30s. That reading's taken a few feet above the ground, but cold air sinks. And so again, the actual ground temperature of the grass may be at that freezing mark, if not even colder. And so when we have water molecules in the air and they touch a frozen surface, they freeze and form ice crystals or frost. So again, the favorable conditions for frost formation is when we have clear skies, light winds, temps in the 30s, and again, some moisture in the air and some moisture on the ground, which after the rains we had on Tuesday and with the conditions we'll have Friday night into Saturday, we're going to meet all these criteria. So again, frost is a decent bet, especially for central and western Nebraska and into eastern and southeastern Nebraska. Some areas of frost, patchy frost certainly possible, especially in rural areas and those more low-lying areas in Lincoln, in the metro areas, maybe a little bit of less of a chance thanks to that urban heating, but that is something to watch out for Friday night and into Saturday morning. In terms of wind, again, as we head through Thursday evening, that wind should die down, should stay fairly quiet overnight, but that wind will kick up as that next cold front arrives. Through the day on Friday, we're going to be looking at winds gusting 25, 35, maybe up to around 40 to 45 miles an hour at times, likely strongest from the mid-morning through the mid-afternoon. Then that wind should settle down as we head towards Friday night. In terms of actual temperatures, Friday morning lows, again, not horrible, mid-30s to low to mid-40s. It will be a cool night for us. 43 in Lincoln, 44 in Grand Island, 41 in North Platte. High temperatures, though, on Friday. Again, these are only going to struggle. They're only going to reach into the 50s to maybe near 60 degrees. You combine that with north and northwest winds that will be breezy to windy. Friday is not going to be a very nice day. Again, if you're going to any area high school football games Friday evening, you'll probably want to bring the coat, maybe the hat and the gloves along with you too. It's going to be, again, a chilly night. And then things really get cold as we head into Saturday morning. Looking at lows in the mid-20s to the lower to middle 30s. The forecast right now in Lincoln, we're going to go with 34. So again, that's still just a few degrees above that freezing mark. Wouldn't be surprised, though, if we did reach that freezing mark, 32 or colder. Again, in Midtown Lincoln, we likely stay a few degrees warmer than that freezing mark, but again, we'll kind of have to wait and see how things shake out. But again, definitely looking at that first freeze for many locations across the coverage area Friday night into Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, things start to get a little bit better. We're looking at temperatures in the low to mid-60s for eastern Nebraska, so a little bit cooler than average, but still pretty nice. A little bit warmer than in the west, as they'll see more southerly winds through the day as that high-pressure system slides off to our east. Look for temperatures anywhere from the mid-60s to low to mid-70s across the western half of the state. Sunday morning, again, not quite as cold, mid to upper 30s, low 40s for lows, so again, still on the cool side, but again, not quite as cold as it will be Saturday morning, and then Sunday afternoon, we should see those temperatures rebound a bit, low to mid 70s across a good chunk of the state with some cooler readings across the northeast. Extended forecast looks like this, kind of bounces around a little bit, which is typical of, again, the early fall season as we have these clashes of air masses, so we go from the upper 50s on Friday to the middle 60s on Saturday to the low to mid 70s on Sunday, back to the middle 60s Monday as another front heads our way, and then back to the low to mid 70s for Tuesday and Wednesday. Longer range models have another system arriving as we head towards late next week that offers us, again, cooler temperatures as well as chances for some moisture, again, mainly in the form of rain across the area, something that, again, we'll keep a close eye on. If you are headed to Champaign for the Nebraska football game against Illinois, this is your Anderson Wealth and Retirement Husker Game Day forecast. It will be a cooler evening in Champaign. A kickoff temperature in the lower 50s with clearing skies. By postgame, those temperatures look like they could be falling into the middle and upper 40s. So again, if you are attending that game, you'll definitely want to bring at least a jacket, if not even more than that. So again, as always, keep it tuned to 1011 for the very latest details on the forecast.